It's because you call me racist. It's
Yo, did you see?
You are fucking racist, though.
I love black people.
Hell no.
I love you as a black man.
Yo, I swear to God, it would make my fucking year if a scandal came out and it was found that Nick Fuentes has like crazy sex orgies with just black women. That shit would be the most goated piece of news possible.
My audience attacked me this week because I said black women are bad sometimes.
Good. Okay, just before we jump into this, okay, I just be clear about who you're talking to and what the goal of the conversation is, okay? Nick has a political movement, a political ideology. His goal is not to sell you truth or to sell you a critical thought process. His goal is to sell you his political ideology. So if he comes across some idea that's contrary to what he believes, or some thought or fact that is contrary to his belief system, he's not going to tell you that, and he's not going to incorporate it into his world. He's only going to give you the pieces of information that he uses to sell his ideology. I think sometimes we're so hungry to talk to people that disagree with us, we think that everybody has valid things to say. Everybody's got valid points to consider. You have to keep in mind what they're selling you.
And you're wrong about, if I thought that race and IQ was a wrong argument, I wouldn't push it. I wish it was wrong. I've had my entire life destroyed because I say these things. You think I'm saying these things because it's like doing me a big favor? I'm banned from airlines and banks. I'm under investigation by the FBI, subpoenaed by Congress, in part because I say these kinds of things. So no, I go where the truth leads me.
If I was to have a conversation with Nick about the value of, like, what do you think about, like, the soft sciences? What do you think about, like, psychologists and political scientists, Nick, in general?
Me?
Yeah.
I think there's some validity to them, but I don't put a lot of stock in empiricism.
Sure, so he doesn't put a lot of stock in those things, okay? The bell curve was written by a psychologist and a political scientist. These aren't genetics researchers. These aren't intelligence researchers. These aren't people that did huge dives into meta. It absolutely is true. Charles Murray is a political scientist, and Richard Bernstein is a psychologist. That's fine, we're not talking about, but I'm just saying that the book, The Bell Curve, if that book was about any other topic, you would dismiss it so quickly because of the scientific disciplines that those authors come from, you wouldn't even consider it for a second.
That's not true.
It absolutely is true, you know it. But because you just told me that you didn't put much stock in those disciplines.
I said I didn't put stock in empiricism. I said I don't put as much stock in empiricism as you do because you believe that everything is attributable to empirical knowledge. Point being is that you're descended from people that come from Africa. And you could say, well, what does white mean? Well, white means descended from people that come from Europe. And you're right. It's not...
Where do the Europeans come from? I mean, technically, aren't we all descended from Africans, if you want to get technical about it?
The ADL is a group founded in defense of a Jewish guy 100 years ago who raped some girl. The ADL can go in...
To be clear, he didn't. That's not true. That's fake news.
Oh, okay, sure. The ADL can go in and they can flag...
Was that really all you said? Yeah, I feel like I remember there being a leaked phone call and some other stuff that came out, too, that got you kicked out of school, too, no? Was that...
Yeah, that is something that
Something
happened.
about, like, if a white girl dates a black person, it's the same as, like, fucking a dog? Something like that, maybe?
There we go.
Am I remembering it correctly?
Of course.
No.
Would you say that me having sex with my dog is the same thing as me having sex with a black man?
No. But they would both be degenerate.
Oh.
I remember there being a leaked phone call and some other stuff that came out too that got you kicked out of school. Wait, hold on. And I'm trying to remember because I legit don't remember. We can bring up the recording. Did you say no, it's not the same, it's worse?
No, I did not say that.
Somebody link me that. Hold on, let me link the call. I want to hear it. I need to hear it in chat.
Oh yeah. I gotta hear it.
You're completely misrepresenting it. I said no, but they both be degenerate. That was what I said.
Oh, he said, but both would be degenerate. That's what I remember. Okay.
And here's the thing. Because I kept saying, hey, why did we send all this foreign aid to Israel? Why did Israel blow up the USS Liberty? Why have the Jews been expelled from 109 countries? Like, jokingly, what's going on with that? And they
jokingly,
told me,
but okay.
Oh, well, jokingly, but also an inquiry. And they said, well, you can't work for us because those are hateful questions. Those are hateful questions. You can't talk about that. We're never going to hire you. So there was this girl, Cassie Dillon, who had it out for me because I went against the Jews, okay? So then I go to this job training.
When he says that, what he means is because he was anti-Semitic. There's a lot of coded language in here, but okay.
Villagers in Minecraft. God damn it, bro. Don't get...
Yeah, all right. So it's like we stayed overnight. It's our last night there. Long story. And so anyway, to make the long story short, we're all just talking, and I'm playing devil's advocate. We're talking about things, and I said, You know, you could laugh, but this is bullshit that this happened. And there's this girl in there who's a total whore, by the way, and she's friends
Totally
with...
unnecessary, but okay.
Well, she was. She,
No, it's a back, Destiny. I know you love women.
and I think I'm among friends. But then I get a little girl filming me covertly saying, so what you're saying is this? No.
Okay, first of all, I don't have to brand him as a white supremacist. He already says he's a white supremacist. Number one.
I don't say
Number
that,
two,
actually.
the phone call did happen that he didn't admit until I brought up, which was true. And number three, I wasn't 100% sure what he said, which is why I keep asking, what did you say? Did you say that? Did you say that? Did you say that?
Yeah, right.
I feel like I remember there being a leaked phone call and some other stuff that came out too that got you kicked out of school too, no? Was that...
Yeah, that is something that
something
happened.
about
But
like if a white... And number three, I wasn't 100% sure what he said, which is why I keep asking, what did you say? Did you say that? Did you say that? Did you say that? And he did mention that they were both degenerate. So I was correct on every
different.
point.
No.
Okay?
No. Goalpost shifted.
The only reason we're even talking about the phone call right now is because I brought it up because you tried to obfuscate by not bringing up that phone call, which was, I think, a big part of why people got really mad at you in 2017.
Listen, you could play everything back, but this is what they do. I am a political activist, which if people want to know my views, I could tell them very precisely in a private setting like that, the same way that I'd say them in front of an official audience publicly.
No, hold on. You don't get to hang your head.
But this is what happens. Hang on.
No.
But this is the problem. And so things like that are going to be blown up, misconstrued, like you just said. Didn't you say it's this?
No.
You mischaracterized the meaning of it.
No, you don't get to hang your hat.
Totally
hold on.
antithetical
You're trying.
to a free society.
No, you're trying to
That
throw
it's their job to misrepresent, misconstrue, and bury anybody with a different opinion.
You're not being
There are
misrepresented or
Hang on, why do you
misconstrued,
gotta
though,
keep
Nick?
interrupting me? Why
Because
do
you
gotta
keep
keep interrupting me?
obfuscating. You're talking.
I'm not
You're lying
obfuscating.
so much.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Hold
obfuscating
on,
at
since
all.
you brought the
You're
phone
completely
call,
missing
you did misrepresent the phone call as soon as you brought it up, Destiny.
I was the only one that brought up the phone call. He denied the phone call even existed. I was just asking what he said on
You're
it.
calling him a racist every day.
Keep in
Well,
mind that when
Sneako, what do you think about him,
keep
Sneako?
in mind that when he says he's for the other races, he means he's for them going back to their countries and living there in harmony. Okay, that's what he means when he says that.
You've been writing for him, Sneako. I want to hear what your opinion on
The world is a complex place, and so really, all countries are, in some sense, they have different ethnicities, or the least diverse are the least violent, and the most diverse are the most violent and the most civil disorder.
But look at how. Wait. Just one quick question.
I have one other thing to say.
Now, because earlier you were saying
you just finished. I didn't interrupt you, pal.
Okay, he's just gonna ramble for 20 minutes.
I'm not gonna
Fuck,
ramble. I have to live with that.
Okay, Destiny, go ahead. I counted. Just 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I just want to be clear. Like, notice how slippery he is between how he defines positions. Earlier, we were talking about how, like...
But it is to say, is it a good idea to import 30 million immigrants in 30 years?
No.
Probably not.
So 2 points on that. So number one, this is just a quick question. Do you know what race Sneako is?
I do actually. Yeah, he's Haitian, Asian, and white. So
And would you have known that just looking at him without knowing his background?
Would I know that he's mixed race? Yes.
Would you know what his races are? Because you said you could tell everybody's race on the panel.
Like I said, I could tell he's a mix between black and white, which he is. Would I guess the Asian? Maybe not.
Yeah,
Again,
sure. Okay,
you're
so
just
you can't wait. Hold on,
bullshitting.
wait. So you can't tell the race of people immediately in this very diverse sense you talk about when Africa's the most diverse place in the world. So number one, you did. That's not an answer. Mixed race is not an answer. So number one.
Yes, it is.
Number
He's a
two,
mix between
you
black
said
and
something
white.
earlier
Hang
that was
on, that's
really
an
important.
answer.
You said that's not an answer. So something
but
you said
keep moving on,
earlier.
keep moving on, keep
something that you said.
like you
Yeah.
do.
So it's not an answer because you said that over, who gets to shower when, and who gets this seat on the couch, and these are the kinds of things that happen in a dense. Wait, do you think you'd fight with him because he's
population.
black over that?
I wouldn't fight about stuff like that. And
Hold. I want to hear the answer to Destiny's question.
Why is it that our unemployment is high compared to the white people? This is where resentment and animus begins, because of the natural difference between people. Difference in cultures, behaviors, habits, customs.
Difference in
these
genes.
kinds of
That's
things.
what you mean. Difference in genetics.
Because they're different, Destiny. They're different on many levels.
Well, just say what you mean. You mean difference in genetics.
Destiny, you're such a rat the way you debate.
I just want you to be clear. You mean
we have Sneako,
black?
we have
I'm not being
Sneako,
sneaky.
we have Sneaky. You're sneaky. Or whether they come from genetics, that's a separate conversation.
You're a
The
race
point
realist,
is
so they
there's
come from
difference.
genetics.
The
Yeah.
point is there's difference, and you're derailing this because you don't like what I'm saying.
No, it's the point.
The point is, people are different. I said there needs to be a cultural and a demographic core. I said,
what should the cultural and demographic core of America be? What race?
It should be white. It should be white.
Okay.
you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, but he wants to make
Did
all
you
of his
love
neighbors.
Obama, Nick?
He wants to make all of his neighbors white. So that's
Nick, how did you feel when Obama was in power?
So this is something you should keep in mind, okay? Whenever I'm asking you questions, Nick, I'm just asking you to clarify your positions. I'm not accusing you of anything. Even the phone call, I'm just saying, did you say this? Did you do this? Do you believe this? Okay, first of all, I don't have to brand him as a white supremacist. He already says he's a white supremacist. Number one.
What does that mean? White people should control.
I'm asking you. Should white people be in charge of America?
What does that mean? In what way?
Oh my god.
Should they be the cultural? Should they be the race?
So this is something that I push back historically against Nick. I never get a good answer to this, and there's never a good answer to this. There's two huge problems with this idea.
At least the Europeans all had a common experience, relatively speaking, in Europe. And at least the Americans that inhabited the American continent had it. What do you mean, what? What do you
that
mean,
is
what?
Hold on. You have no understanding. Hold on. That is...
Wait, no, you hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. This
All
guy.
right,
Only an
seconds.
American could say some retarded shit like Europeans all have the same history. It's one of the dumbest things you can. It's one of the most American things you can ever say.
But yeah, please jump in with
Oh
your
my
low
God.
IQ rebuttals because your ideology is built on.
Sorry, that's my
sand.
inner Cuban part.
Obviously, Europeans have more in common with each other than they have with people in India. That's the point I'm making. It's a question about proximity, and so the idea is
It's not really white people if you look.
When you talk to very far right people, Jewish people and white people aren't the same thing. Just a heads up. They're two different groups.
It's true.
Yeah, but that isn't because he's white. It's because he's a white fucking
Okay, let me answer Gideon's.
separatist.
Let me.
It's a different thing.
Okay, let me answer Gideon's.
But that message that you just gave, you found common ground with a dude that's literally a white nationalist. So it seems like the problem isn't
Not a white
race.
nationalist.
No, hold on. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying that like
What
was your point?
The point I was saying was that even for a guy that is a white nationalist, you both have a ton of agreement. So it undermines his point that the racial part is that important. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying the racial part is that important. I'm saying ultimately.
I
we're
know
not
you're
gonna-
not. He is. I'm not
so
saying
you're-
you are. I'm saying he
Who,
was.
Gideon
Yeah.
or Nick?
No,
Nick.
I don't think I ever said that black and white people can't agree. Like, what about what I said?
You notice? Okay, fuck. I don't want to keep going because the other two. But like, notice how every time I make a point, he wants to run it as far as possible. I never said that you said they can never agree. But what you said was that white people and black people have fundamentally different core characters that are biologically determined, and that is so essential to you that you want to split them up into different countries. So if you want to act like a
never
dipshit,
said
and
that.
every time. Hold on. Do you think that? Well, if you
I
just want to
never
lie
said
about what
I
you said,
want to
that's fine.
split. Okay, see, I mean, this is what you
Yeah, I don't
do.
think
It's
you
Hold
said
on.
that,
Okay.
bro.
Do you,
dishonest.
yeah, I don't know. If you want to.
I never said I don't love other groups.
You literally said if you had
I-
a black roommate, you'd fight with them over the shower.
I didn't say that. I said that proximity creates conflict. I said, see, but there you go. It's totally dishonest. I said that proximity
You
and
said
difference
that.
creates conflict.
Okay,
And that was an analogy to say that
I'm
when you
done.
get lots of different people together in a
Wasn't Jesus supposed to be Jewish?
I think that we're talking about what he looks like.
Well, no, but hold on. I'm curious. I thought you said Jewish people weren't white.
Oh yeah, don't you hate Jewish people?
Uh-huh.
Oh, now I'm kind of wondering.
If you want to get into
Slippery
Judaism,
Nick.
we could,
Slippery on
want
those
to get into
ethnicities
Judaism,
again.
we could get into the prophecies of the Old Testament.
What
All
does
the
that have to do with the
people
race
that
of Jesus?
remain
There's so much
are.
rambling.
See, does it make you uncomfortable, Destiny? Because you can't name them, you can't talk about Jews. Is it because are they paying you off or something? That's why you have MasterCard still, right?
MasterCard or Visa, you're being paid off.
Oh wait, we're talking about religion. You think Jewish is just religion? So there are no ethnically Jewish people.
What are you talking about? I'm sorry. What is your low IQ interjection?
You're so slippery with the race thing. I just think it's very funny to me. It's just very funny to me how you like slide around on the race thing so much.
See,
Do you
that's
wish
the
you could be
thing.
one? Do you wish you could be 100% Italian or 100% whatever?
No, because then I wouldn't be 100% Nick Fuentes. Which is,
How do we get Nick Fuentes though? Like, how do we get you?
well,
Aren't
combination.
you arguing
of-
for diversity there that you wouldn't exist if it weren't for like some level of race mixing and shit?
Yeah, so we should bring in 30 million immigrants to America.
Well, how many did we have to bring in before you were born? You said it was over the past 30 years. You're what,
All
23
my
years old?
ancestors are like 4 generations in America. But you're trying to obfuscate the point by making.
Why do you
it
keep saying?
personal. It's
Wait,
not
can
personal.
you explain specifically how am I
Why?
obfuscating?
We're trying to have a nice moment. You got to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, run away from it. Okay.